Okay, we're going to get started with this talk. We do have a lot of content to cover, so we are going to ask if you do have questions to wait until the end. Many of these things that we're going to talk about, we go into greater detail at other times during the symposium. And so if you do have specific questions about a certain topic, we can either A, point you in the direction of, or the time slot that we're going to go into that greater detail, or B, we can point you into anybody want to guess what I'm going to say? Demo room. Great job. And we have had a number of you guys already in there, so thank you for checking it out. I do think it's a really great resource for you to put your hands on it with people around you. Is everybody in here timers? Are there any just race directors in here? All timers. Okay, cool. Just curious. Our tagline is "The future is now." The reason being is because our race day tools are ready today. Race day scoring is ready today. The check-in app is ready today. Expo mode is ready today. What that means is all of these things, they work together. They work together right now. This is not something that you necessarily need to kick the can down the road for. For many of you, this is your slower season. This is the time where you're training. This is the time where you're making decisions. And so if you spent last year maybe training on race day scoring in January at one of our certification times, and you didn't use it until this weekend, it's likely time to start thinking about actually doing some real work on it. For 90% of the races, maybe even 95% of the races that you have, it's going to be able to handle it just fine. There are special circumstances where that might not be the case, and Matt Avery can handle that one-on-one with you, and he is very honest about what the capabilities are, and so he's not going to lead you astray. If he says, you know what, your race that you're describing cannot do, our feature set is not there yet for that specific thing because it's such a one-off, he'll tell you. He's not going to put you in a tough spot.
I'll tell you how to do it with the other tools we have.
Yep. So current market situation, there's more races, more competition. This is, again, very similar to how it's been for a number of years. This means the bar has gone up and it's continually changing. Participants are expecting more. They're expecting you to be able to pivot and do things very quickly, including changes to post results very quickly. They're also expecting at anything longer than a 10K, I'm not saying a 10K, but anything longer than a 10K, a lot of them are expecting to be able to be tracked. So spectators continue to be a part of the conversation now when we talk about races, not just on a race directing side, but also on a timing side, because they also want to be a part of the race experience. And that's something to consider, especially if you own races, because you're not just working with the participant, you're also working with the spectator too. And part of the, I guess, problem and positive is they have a voice. They have social media they can get on, and if they had a positive experience, they're going to shout about that. So the more tools that you can give, or the more things that you can give to both parties, the better off you're going to be. So with growing expectations, those profits are squeezed. So races are trying to figure out how to increase revenue or find new revenue streams, and a lot of times they're also reducing costs. So we kind of divvied everything up into 4 categories, using the technology to address the race day challenges and create opportunities to increase revenue and differentiate your overall race day experience. Something about most of these will be something that you as a timer can bring to the table, but it's also important for a lot of the race organizers to be aware of the tools as well. So again, most of you guys are timers. You might be timing your own events, but in many circumstances, if that's what you're doing, you're also pivoting over and working on other people's events. So you also roll into a trainer as well on a lot of these, because you might not be the one on site for check-in or registration. So you will be the one that needs to understand how to do this, so you can train those race directors and just kind of build that rapport within your race and your community. So with these 4, we have, make money or save money, which is increase revenue or reducing costs. Ease is streamlining and or simplifying the participant, spectator, staff experience. So it covers all 3 of those. Superior is just basically how are you improving your quality of your race day experience for athletes and spectators. And then different, again, how do you differentiate yourself from other events in a very crowded market? So this is the Race Day Suite. Through the Race Day Suite, you can elevate your tech and your business. It's a comprehensive suite. And again, like I said before, it's a very high level overview of the entire set of tools. Just something to consider. RunSignup has made a significant investment in these tools, especially over the past few years with RaceDay scoring. And if you're successful, we're successful. It's a very symbiotic relationship. And so this is a big priority for us, is making sure that you are confident and you understand how to use these tools. And again, just to frame this, we have at bare minimum at any given time, 5 developers working, full-time developers working on the RaceDay suite of products. To get going, RaceDay registration. So RaceDay registration, there are currently still 3 options on the back end of RaceDay registration. I get a lot of questions about all 3 of them. However, I will be very clear, we are pointing you towards one and one only, and that is Expo mode, specifically private Expo mode. Private Expo mode benefits are that you can register multiple people at the same time, which if you're in the sign up app or kiosk mode, you cannot. You can still use cash, you can still use coupons, and you can do team registrations. So all these things are really important to remember, and you might think to yourself, I don't care, I like this one better, but Thanksgiving Day is a perfect example. All people care about is registering their entire family. And if they have to type in their credit card information 4 different times, they are going to strangle somebody. It might not be you because you might be in the timing tent, but somebody's going to get an earful. So just keep that in mind. It's not just about what you see, but it's the participant experience. And with that being said, 2020 is going to see development on both the user experience and the back end for Expo mode registration. So, and we'll be very clear, we'll have blog posts, we'll have all kinds of information as that begins to roll out, but don't be super surprised even if that name changes, just to more align with what it is. Again, Expo mode, for those of you still taking paper, this allows for you to stay open to last minute registrations, and for data transfer, it also helps. So if you're taking paper reg, you're going to be the one typing things in. This removes that need, obviously, for you to type things in. As they're using Expo mode, it dumps them directly into the RunSignup database. So you have all of your data in the same place. Any misspellings are their misspellings and not your misinterpretation of their doctor's scribble. And you select what fields they answer so you don't get Pat not checking the sex. For those of you that watched SNL. Sorry, maybe that's too long ago. You do bypass the latecomer request because, again, this is putting the onus on the athlete for registration. You're offering the participants a greater flexibility because during this, you're also able to leave online registration open. So if they don't feel like standing in a line or coming to your packet pickup to register, they can do it in their car, on their cell phone. And so with this integration, there's no manual entry like we talked about. So again, it's increasing the money, it's making it easier for the athlete, and it's better overall. So RaceDay bid management. And this, we are not going to take any questions. Just to be very, very clear, there are a ton of different ways to do this. I know all of you have the best way to do it, and it's way better than my way because every single one of you is the best at assigning bibs in your very, very, very specific way. So in case you didn't know, you can assign bibs within RunSignup. Show of hands, how many of you have assigned bibs within RunSignup before? Okay, a good number of you. So and it's not just one or the other. I've had already several conversations today with people about assigning bibs, and you can assign by alpha like you currently are, and then do dynamic at the end. You can assign by alpha or by age in advance and then switch over to just an automated range going up as people register. So there's a number of different ways you can dynamically assign. You can import, if you're doing like a pool swim triathlon and you want to do by swim seed, you can do all these different ways. And if you have questions like, hey, I've got this really weird way of dealing with it, like come talk to us or go in the demo room and we can discuss it or send me an email and we can set up a demo next week, and we can go over your specific need because, we've touched a lot of different types of races and I have yet to find a bib assignment method that is not supported. Now, it might be a mix of different ways, but they're all supported. And so one of the things that if you have, how many of you have been in the demo room already? Okay, sweet. So for those of you that have never dynamically assigned bibs, especially with QR code, that is being done in the demo room. And so you get a hands-on feel of what it looks like from the front end and back end. So again, going back to our kind of 4 pillars on this one, the 3 are reducing the cost by not having to chip and print every bib, only those used. Again, it's up to you and your business model. If you bill the client for the people that don't show up, most people do, you don't have to. However, if you're using stock your company bibs and they aren't picked up, and you're assigning them dynamically, now if there were 500 and only 400 showed up, if your tag price is $1 and your bib cost is $25, then you just saved $125 right off the top. So the savings with dynamic bib assignment can be fairly large over a course of time, because we are seeing somewhere between like 15 and 70% no-show rates at a normal run with like a pretty day. If it's a youth event, you have like somewhere in between a 0.5 and 1.75% no-show rate, just because their parents said, no, I paid for it, you're gonna go. With this bib assignment, you're seeing greater efficiencies for timer and volunteers because you can set this up as an automation. The quality experience comes in both the staff and the athlete experience, because with something like dynamic bib assignment, you're not having to sit there and pay somebody to label your bib in advance, and your staff doesn't have to have the stress of typing in that bib number. They can quite literally use the check-in app and scan it. So Race Day check-in, I say this over and over again, the Race Day check-in tool is the coolest feature, in my opinion, that RunSignup has, full stop. And for those of you that are like, I don't agree with you, I would say that you're not utilizing it to the fullest potential, because it can do so much. Your participants expect things to move fast, so you need to be able to scale quickly. You can deploy several more devices and increase the size of your packet pickup. I mean, our perfect example was in Philly last year, 2019, the Summer Symposium. We were checking everybody in for dinner, and we had 2 or 3 people checking people in. The line was around the corner because they made us wait to a certain point. That wasn't actually on us, but the way we resolved it is 3 or 4 extra people got their phone out on staff, and magically, we were checking people in at double the rate that we would have before. So that's not something you can do if you have, paper forms and labeled bibs. Like we were able to scale that very, very quickly. All of these products are integrated, and it creates a cohesiveness. You can do a manual search or QR code scanning. I always suggest using a pre-event email, and you can use a QR code replacement tag within that, so you don't even have to search. You just scan their phone with their pre-event email. So another cool feature, in my opinion, is if I'm checking in the Incredible Hulk and he's checking in, these had pre-assigned bib numbers because you already see the bib number in the middle. So when I hit check-in, we had one of the features in there that says the waiver is required. Well, the Incredible Hulk was imported in by one of the race owners, and so he didn't sign the waiver. So during this, he can now view the waiver and sign it, and a screenshot of that is captured on their participant registration with an IP and a timestamp. So now you actually have, it's a quick way to roll out waiver signatures. We had a 5,000 person event that was using this, and the wait times previous year were somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 minutes to get their packet. This year, they were able to scale up. The average person waited somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2 minutes. There was never a line longer than 6 people. Same event size. You want to know the benefit here? Anyone want to guess what happens when people don't have to wait in line the next year? They come back. Right now, this race is in December. They are currently today at the same registration numbers they were at the end of April. That's how far ahead they are. It's a 5,000 or 6,000 person event. They already have 2,500 people registered mid-January. At this point last year, they had right around 1,500. So like real numbers. People really do. If they have a good experience, they will come back to your event. For those of you that are race directors as well, and maybe your team is doing the packet pickup side, or you're the lead timer, and you have to go out and set up the finish line, or get your decoders linked up, everything like that, you can open up the check-in app and look. It's just a quick snapshot, but you can see your check-in stats. And it's a great thing to know, like on Friday after packet pickup ends, okay, take a deep breath. What's tomorrow going to look like? Because most of the time you're like, I feel like 150 people checked in today. Instead of, no, 172 people checked in today. We still have this many people tomorrow, 17% no-show, we're looking at this. You can look at real information live. You're a triathlete or you're a triathlon race director. Before you start the race, you can look at those check-in numbers. It's approximate that we're about to put 345 people in the water, right? And you can verify that with a check-in, Matt, but it's real. You really know in advance how many people you're going to be putting out there onto the course. So again, you improve race site logistics, you can quickly scale, like we talked about. You can also reduce the number of volunteers. This is important because with regular check-in, you can, I think the numbers were around 10 to 15 per 5 minutes, and that's if they're pre-assigned with bib labels on there and everything like that. By the time you work up to QR code with dynamic bib assignment with a QR code on the bib. So pre-event email with a QR code and a QR code on the bib, so they don't have to type in anything. You can get to the point where one volunteer with one device is checking in somewhere between 30 and 35 participants per 5 minutes. Now granted, that person's probably gonna be sweating. So what you can do is you can look at your reports after the fact and see this plateau for that device, and like, we need more volunteers because this data is showing me that these people were overloaded. And over time, you can start doing metrics and helping talk to your race director saying, look, these are our real numbers. This is what it looks like. And, you know, we either need to decrease or increase the number of volunteers on hand at different times. And so now we're into race day tracking.
Thank you, Chris. So we should do some introduction first of all. This is Chris McDonald. He is what I like to call like a sales engineer. He's a timer, has a lot of experience. So for those that are truly trying to, you know, look at these technologies and implement these technologies, he's available for one-on-one meetings. So he's really our kind of, you know, on the ground sales engineer that'll help you understand these technologies and how to actually implement them using whatever, you know, is going on in your particular space. This is Matt Avery. He's our product owner for all the RaceDay suite, and he'll be talking a little bit later today about all the things we've been doing in RaceDay scoring and results and photos. So I'm James Harris. I'm very passionate about this space. I left corporate America about 8 years ago and built RaceJoy, and that was acquired by RunSignup 5 years ago. And I'm going to be talking today about runner tracking, but I'm also one of the developers on RaceDay scoring. So, you know, for us, this is the key message that we want you guys to know here today. We talk a lot about this investment, but really the only success is going to be whether or not timers use our technology in the field. And so in a minute, I'll talk about what happened with RaceJoy this year and how timers embraced that technology and what happened with the usage of RaceJoy in the field. So we're very grateful for the people that have come to this conference, the timers especially, and we really hope that we're building the tools that you'll use in your work. So we offer, again, the future is now, 2 types of tracking right now. It's all part of your platform, and really, this is the key message here. There's no cost. If you're using RunSignup registration, you could have a race. We had Philadelphia Marathon. We sent out 400,000 alerts during that event. That could have been 400,000 text alerts. We only, as Johanna said today, we only hit half that field carrying their phone. The other half of the field, I'm not going to carry a phone, right? But they're sending out all those text messages. I know the vendor of that, and I can tell you that bill was very big. You have in your toolkit right now that you can send out 400,000 text alerts, no charge with the RunSignup platform. We offer 2 types of tracking. So the first is what we call bib tag, or typical RFID type alerts based upon the tag, the bib that they're wearing. And the second type is through RaceJoy, and we're using the phone as a tracking device. And so for that 70% of the people that are carrying this phone and they're carrying it for safety reasons, this can be turned into a tracking device and they can get alerts based upon that. So again, it's all about how are we going to help you to increase your revenue, differentiate your experience for the participants and spectators so they can have a better experience at your race, and really, you know, help you as a timer now differentiate your services. So when you go to that race, you say, here's the range of services that I can offer, and so it really differentiates you to the next timer. So with the RaceDay suite, we get 2 types of tracking. First with bib tag. Again, this is based upon your RFID technology. Really the key here is how many timing pieces of equipment can you put in the field, 1. How many 3G, 4G cards are you going to be paying for? How much of that service is that costing you each month? And so, really you start to think about that. So what's typical is that for most events, you're putting up a start-finish line. Maybe you put a split out there. Then you get to the next size event where they really want more. So you have those costs built in. And you also have to have somebody out there watching that equipment for you. So again, there are some things to consider with bib tag alerts. But again, for those races that want that experience and they want to get that equipment out there, you have with our platform the ability to deliver that. If you come to the certification track tomorrow, we're going to show you how easy this is to deliver with race day scoring. Key message here. If you get anything out of RunSignup, we're not pushing scoring on you guys. You can use whatever scoring you want. I have timers right now. They love this scoring software. They're just using race day scoring for one thing and one thing only, to push out text alerts during their race. You can do that. You can just say, you know what, I'm going to just do this piece and I'm going to do all this other over there. So really, all these tools that we're showing you, it's really up to you to decide for your own organization, your process, which tool you want to use for which scenario, okay? So again, it's really based on the number of pieces of equipment that you can put out. And again, with bib tag tracking, this is official. This is RFID. We're never going to get this phone with GPS to give the kind of accuracy that you're going to get with RFID, right? So that's very official, and you got to have that type of technology. GPS is not going to replace that. So can I get a show of hands for just, have you ever used RaceDay at an event? Either you used it or you provided it for one of your events. So good. Yeah. So this number increases, and we're thankful for that. I invite you to come out tomorrow for the suite run. You don't have to run. You can walk. We've got some special things planned for you. Load it up on your phone, and you can experience what participants and spectators experience when they use RaceDay. So again, we're taking the phone, turning it into a tracking device, different than a training app. We're based on your course. You're the designers of the course. You're the designers of those points where you want those messages to go. So it's different. It's not how many steps I run, but it's when I got in proximity to the finish. It's when I got in proximity to mile 3 that we issue those alerts. So it's all based on a certified course. I have to tell you, I get a lot of emails, and I love the email that comes to me from someone that says, you know what, you helped me reach my race goals. Because of that, being based on the actual certified course, I was able to meet the goal that I've been working to. So you're giving participants, for those that are really into those kind of really deep details and stats, you're giving them what they want. RaceDay has been used now for 7 years. We're now approaching 1 million blue dots. It's a lot of blue dots, okay? It's tried and true technology. This is what a monitoring view would look like. You have an operational monitoring view that you can see everything happening in real time. I've had people come up to me today, I can use this for staff tracking. I can track my lead and my tail. Like we've seen races use this all over the place. I mean, as a timer, I had one timer. He has to go out and do this event. It's an all-day event. And he just needs to know where that last runner is because, of staffing and everything. So again, it really can save a lot of effort and to make it more efficient for you. And also for your own staff, letting them go so that you can just kind of know when things are going to be done. That's helpful alone. So there's a lot you can do with the tracking technology. Again, we're touching all 4 points here. We're going to increase your revenue. We have a lot of races that will get a sponsor that cover their tracking technology. You're going to differentiate your experience with the other timers, and it's all integrated and being able to deliver your mobile results. And again, I've talked about being able to monitor not just participants, but you can also track your lead, your tail, and your key staff. I want to touch on safety for a second. He's not here, but we've had one timer that's really used us in some real extreme events. And the reason I want to touch on safety, there's a couple spaces here. One's in places like Alaska, where you might have certain safety requirements. We've had, believe it or not, boating and swimming events where they had Coast Guard requirements, that they had tracking of those swimmers, and we had a boating event. But an interesting conversation came up this morning about safety. So we have a lot of events now that have to get insurance because of weather, right? This story goes on a lot. We've had, when it's how devastating it is that you have a snowstorm that takes out your race, right? And you're having to deal with that event. We have underwriters now that are looking to see if you provide tools like RaceDay, where you're not only able to communicate in real time with people, but also track them, and they will give you a discount. So this one company I'm talking to that actually does underwriting for RunSignup, they're going to give you a 10% discount if you enable RaceDay for your event, and they're looking at underwriting. So there's a lot of safety aspects and kind of operational aspects to using RaceJoy with your race that other parts of the organization are going to be looking at. So even like insurance companies, other public safety aspects that you have. Another example of this was Suffolk County up in New York. Their operations people, they're just very controlled, a lot of security and stuff. They came to us, and the head of their operations was like, wanted to find out about the monitoring, and like he's saying, oh my gosh, you mean I can do this? And like, so they ended up using the whole thing and using it in their actual operations center and tracking not only what was happening on the field, but also some of their key public safety people. We also offer off-course alerts. So anybody doing any trail industry in here, having trail events, you know how it is for people to get lost. Big feature. We have one company in Ohio that uses this for every single trail event. It's so nice, right? I'm running a trail event. I don't want to get lost. And just getting those key cues and then also getting off-course warnings before you go off course is really key for that industry. We're sending out alerts at every milestone that you set up. And this could be at other points. You design out the course. You design out the points where you want to send the alerts. We talked about Philly. It's a lot of impressions that can be given out. This is a lot of sponsor value here that you can sell or your race can sell. Another key feature in RaceJoy is the cheer sending. And this really leads us into what I really want to talk about today is the geo-based cheers. But before I do that, one of the things that RaceJoy does is we're taking all these phones together and we're putting them into a virtual baton, okay? So now you have true team tracking where you're tying together individual participants, you're giving them progress, and the individual is getting their leg splits, and when they're estimated to be finished their leg, the overall team knows at a view in the app how the team's doing, what the team pace is, when the team estimated finish time is. Relays love this technology. We have events coming to us just for the relays. This is an area for those timers that are in the room for the advanced track. If you go to the advanced level, we'll be talking tomorrow about opportunities for you in this space where you can actually help us do RaceJoy for relay events, even outside of your area, because we have a lot of interest in this area, and we're actually looking for timer partners who will help us take care of this for different events. So the Geo Cheer Points is really where you kick it up a notch, and you can do what's called race scheduled audio alerts at selected points along the course. And so again, I invite you to come to the Sweet Run tomorrow and you'll be able to hear and experience what that's all about. So the monitoring view is again an at-a-glance view for you. You can see what's happening on your course. You get a live progress board based upon the phones. And you can do it also for staff tracking. You can just filter this and only look at your staff that's being tracked or the lead and the tail and kind of look at that. You can also from this view use this for route replay, which is huge, right? You've got somebody that comes in and says, you know, the RFID said they won the race. And, you know, I've had events where because especially in the trail industry, where they require them to use a phone as a tracking device because they want to verify they ran the whole course. You can just boop, pull it up. You can see their phone replay and say they ran the whole course. So you can also, if it works with your event, use it as a kind of a requirement that you want to know that they ran the whole course, depending upon the logistics of your course. But we do have route replay also. This is what the route replay was. If you just look up here, you see a little blue dot up here? This person was off course. I took the screenshot prior to us doing off-course alerts with this company, but that would have saved that guy a day. He would have been a lot less miles. There's more that you can do in the app in terms of content. It is a customized experience that you can build. We have some companies go really crazy with this. For that larger race that you're really trying to provide both a mobile experience and tracking, this is something, again, as a timer, you can say, I've given you a mobile app. With RaceJoy, again, you have a communications tool. Now you have the ability to communicate bidirectionally with those participants. So right from your monitoring dashboard, you can send messages. You can send it in mass to everybody. Lightning delay. It happens, I don't know how many events in this last year we've had this happen where stuff happens and they don't have to have a megaphone. They have a megaphone. They just type the message. We're in a lightning delay, 30 minutes, whatever, and they can just talk to all the participants. They can send it out either as a news alert that goes out to everybody, including friends and family, or they can just send it only to the participants on the course. So again, real-time communications. If something's happening on the course you need to tell somebody about, you've got a way to just type a message. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's being delivered to them. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to go look up a whole bunch of phone numbers and registration and all. You have a communications tool right on your dashboard for all those that are carrying their phone. There's a lot of opportunity for customization, sponsor promotion. It's not just tech companies that want to sponsor run tracking. I've definitely seen some really creative usages. We had one event that, believe it or not, it was the company that goes into manholes that cleans out like the sewage stuff. That was a technology sponsor for RaceJoy. You know what they ended up doing? How many manholes have you covered? How many manholes have you run? And so they just did this thing where they like put these alerts in. They're like, oh, you just covered 200 manholes in your 13.1. You know, it's just kind of a creative way to give a sponsor a way to tie in with the runner tracking. This is new this year. You have 2 types of tracking with the RaceDay suite. We've rebranded. So if you enable participant tracking for your event, you're going to get a new option that says participant tracking on your race website. When they go there, the participants are going to see the different technologies that are explained to them, and they can opt in right from there. So we're constantly trying to help you educate. A big change this year, we had 100% growth this year thanks to the timers in this room and other timers that aren't here. So through the Certified Timer program last year, we changed the distribution of RaceJoy to only be through timers. We're really wanting the timers to have this service be able to use as part of their tools. That's really changed it for us. We doubled the number of events that we did the previous year. If you're not a timer in your race director, we really invite you to talk to your timer, ask them if they're certified, because you could definitely have this service as part of your race. And I hand it off to Matt.
Thanks a lot, James. I'm running a little bit late on time, so I'll try and speed through my session. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Matt Avery. I'm the product manager for RaceDay at RunSignup. I was a timer in a former life. I basically took a company and essentially was given very out-of-date hardware and software, and they wanted to make their business better. And I was tasked with finding the best hardware out there, the best software out there, and trying to put it all together and make it work. Eventually, I wound up here at RunSignup teaching y'all how to do that. So it's been really fun for me. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about my favorite product, RaceDay Scoring, along with the RaceDay results, RaceDay photos, and a few other things. Oh, there's me. Probably in like 2010 or something like that. What's so great about RaceDay Scoring specifically? Our whole idea about the platform is that it can be integrated with any type of software out there, scoring included, obviously. People have very specific needs for scoring, and we recognize that, and we make our system fully compatible with any other scoring software out there. But what I do think is great about RaceDay Scoring is that we have that extra ability to be more tightly integrated with the registration platform and the results platform, RunSignups, obviously. So we are able to make the syncing process between the two instant, and it's like a living database. Any changes that happen in RaceDay Scoring on RaceDay automatically happen on RunSignup, and vice versa. Any updates that happen on RunSignup automatically come into RaceDay Scoring as long as you have internet connection. What that is doing is it's making it much easier for you on RaceDay to manage that. Timers don't have to worry about importing changes or exporting data at the end of the day and uploading it to their registration platform so that the registration coordinator can get the right counts for everything. It's all happening in the background, syncing, so you don't have to worry about that. Another big thing that's really cool about RaceDay Scoring is all the scoring is done 100% offline, so you don't have to worry about losing internet connection and losing data from scoring. It's never going to happen. It's a completely offline capable product. It's just enhanced by that incredible database syncing that we provide through RunSignup registration. And we also allow easy export and import of race data from one computer to another. The way we built the architecture allows us to do this very easily, and we'll see even more improvements as we go on through 2020. We have some really cool things planned and in store, and I'll be talking about that more tomorrow. Easy results publishing and notifications from the product directly. James is going to give a demonstration of that in tomorrow's sessions on how simple it is to publish results with RaceDay Scoring. So let me talk quick about 2019, what we added. We added support for corrals or wave starts for any type of race. So you can now put together groups of participants in any way you like and assign them a start time, upload results nice and easy. We've added aggregate team scoring, basically allowing you to do corporate runs and that kind of scoring. We're adding up a total time for a team. Direct to printer support, nice and easy way to have a quick and dirty, just print this report as it is right from the report itself. A whole ton of dashboard improvements, making the dashboard look much better and give you the data that you need at a glance. So it'll show you all the reads as they're coming in. It'll show you all of your scored reads, how it's broken down by what events there are, what occurrence on each location. So it really gives you a high-level view into what's going on your race that day. The race director integration, we've added a ton of stuff around integrating the race director product, our old software, with RaceDay Scoring so that you can use the two in conjunction in a multitude of ways. And Roger is actually going to go through that tomorrow. Custom top finishers, we've enhanced our ability to do a lot of different scoring scenarios. Custom top finishers is one of those, and lets you say everybody who is from Moorestown, New Jersey, I want to show the top 5. You can do things like that and even more. So what's coming in 2020? We're going to be doing a lot of development in 2020, and I'm super excited about it. The big ones are auto backup to the cloud. Right now, your races they're held on the local computer, and you can, take a file, export it, and load it into another one. We're going to automate that process, allowing you to never have to worry about having the correct version of scoring. What's going to happen is that as I'm timing the race, backups will be happening automatically, or whenever I'm setting up the race, backups will be happening automatically. If someone opened it up on another computer and pulled the race down, it'll say, hey, Matt Avery made some updates on January 10th at 11:59. Do you want to use those changes, or do you want to start fresh? So we're going to make this really, really nice and simple to the user so that they can make sure they've got the right up-to-date version of scoring. Lap races, we're going to be adding the ability to support lap races or duration-based events where you're doing a 12-hour relay. It's not I don't know how much distance they're going to do. It's not a 10K. So we're going to be adding support for that. Timer analytics is something that we're really excited about. It hooks into the auto backup to the cloud. That's going to automatically give timers basically a statistical analysis of their race data on their timer dashboard so that they can do many different things. One of which, just quick to show their race directors, like, hey, what were your demographics like for this race? Here's how many, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, so on and so forth. And a bunch more stuff I'll talk about tomorrow more. So we're going to do a reporting engine overhaul, just improving the way that we can customize reports and allow you to do even more for your race day score. I'm just going to skip through some of these ones. But the biggest ones are going to be full cross-country support in the spring-summer time frames that we're looking at. Right now, we can do pretty much cross-country team scoring, but there's a couple of items we need to tick off. And we also want to do a better integration with backup solutions like finish links and a few others. And we're also going to be implementing a better pull tag type scoring scenario because we know that a lot of cross-country timers do have to have that for some of their races. In addition to that, we're going to be doing a really big overhaul to RunSignup's race day results. The UI and features are going to be updated greatly in 2020 there. Why do you want to use race day results? First of all, it's an open approach. Like I said, any timer can use it, regardless of what software you're using. It's on the RunSignup dashboard. You can upload results in any way you like. Some systems are more integrated than others, like the Race Director RunScore and Race Day Scoring. You can also just upload a CSV if you want to. At the end of the race, you just want to upload a CSV from your scoring software. It's totally supported and it works great. Real-time results. People expect this nowadays. They expect results to be coming to their phones and coming into their email within minutes of them finishing. And so we support that, and we have a really incredible infrastructure built up around it, and that's all free to you. So it's really, really, really cool. I mean, I remember having to pay for this stuff back in the day, a good amount of money just to have this portion. So James is right. This is a significant investment that you don't have to make. And it's there for you to use. We've put a lot of work into it and want you to use it because it's super cool. So built-in bib tag tracking alerts via text and email. We also have a variety of different delivery options. So live leaderboard links, kiosk results, website, and RaceJoy results. All of these results, links, and leaderboards comes from one CSV, one spreadsheet you upload. So everything is generated for you in the background. Once you upload the results, you have like 6 different URLs that you can now use and set up kiosks for on race day. Race day photos. We are going to be putting a lot of development time into race day photos for 2020, as well as finisher certificates. So race day photos allow you to upload photos to your race, and they're automatically matched based on bib number recognition. And you can also manually tag. Decreasing costs using race day photos. Photos can be expensive. We don't recommend necessarily ditching your really, really good photographer you've been using for years for your race photos. There's some times where you want to capture moments and make them really, really good and really, really nice. And there's definitely a benefit to having that for your race. But we think that you can also supplement that using race day photos and someone, just a volunteer or a college kid coming out and snapping photos at split points, because you can just put out so much more content for your race in that way. Photos automatically appear alongside each participant's results. You can watermark and add sponsor value to photos. You can design custom finisher certificates to make your race results stand out. And like I said before, 2020, it's going to include updates to race day photos. So keep watching our blog. So that was our suite, all the products. We, again, have put this all together for you guys because we really want to give you the best tools available. This is a two-way street. This is a discussion for you and I and all of us to have. How can we make this product better for you, and what things do we need to do to make your lives better? Because when you guys are happy, we're happy. So let us know whenever you have something that you want from us, or you want something different, or you have ideas. We love hearing from you. I'm just going to skip through these ones. I don't got time. If you guys didn't know, The demo room, there is a Apple Watch giveaway, which is really cool. You don't have to be a timer to qualify for this. If you're just a race director or organizer, you can go through the RaceDroid demo. But if you sign up for the RaceDroid demo or the RaceDay Suite demo, you'll be able to be entered into a giveaway for the Apple Watch. James has talked about this a good amount. The Suite run tomorrow, 6:15 a.m. Be there. If you're running, cool. If not, I'll be hanging out, just showing off products. So talk to me. Download RaceJoy if you are doing it and track yourself. It's really cool. The first time I used RaceJoy, I didn't realize how significant it would be to have the audio alerts. And it's amazing when you're out for a run and you can hear it. It's like, oh, there's your split. My expected finish time is in my ear. Try it if you haven't yet. I think it's a game changer for races. So the future is now. Thanks a lot. Take care, guys.